In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating Safari Pedal's brand new plugin, the CAMEL Strip. But before we get started, my name is Ed, you're watching Stokes Sounds, and if you like this video, please make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you want to support the channel, head over to our website, stokessounds.com. Now let's dive in. So I've got a track here, it's by an artist called Olivia Nicole, and the song is a cover and it's Time After Time. Let's check out what we're dealing with, and then we're going to load up the plugin and we're going to get into it.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time.
So as you heard there, that's the track, and this track was mixed before this plugin came out, and I have to say I'm absolutely blown away by how good the Channel Strip plugin is that they've done. And so today we're going to remix this vocal using their plugin only. As you can see, I've just got a de-esser beforehand, and that's just because I wanted to catch the S's because it was quite an S-y kind of vocal sound. So I just wanted to do that just to tame that before we go into the CAMEL Strip, which is their brand new plugin. And as you can see, it looks incredible. That's one thing I do love about, that plugin company, is just the fact that they make everything a bit like Apple. Everything looks stylish and great, and they've done that in the plugin world, so shout out to them for kind of their aesthetically pleasing plugins. But if you just take a look at this, it's a very standard kind of style channel strip. You've got an EQ, you've got some compression, and in this one you've also got, they're spoiling us with some actual effects inside it. We've got some plate and some spring reverb. Again, we'll play around with it, and they've also got an input drive, and that's just if you want to get some more saturation. But one really cool thing about this plugin is they've kind of taken lots of different style channel strips and put it into one. What I mean by that is, as you can see, they've got an EQ1A, a 73 and a 4K, and they're all emulations of the old school analog, the real units of those EQs. So the EQ1A is a Pultec, the 73 is from an old Neve, and the 4K is SSL. So you've got really nice different flavors there to play around with. A female vocal may sound better on the Pultec one, and a male vocal, if you want a bit more color to it, maybe a Neve 1073 kind of style sound. So it's really, really cool that they've given us those options, and it's just kind of spoiling us with different flavors. So I love that. But very, very kind of basic in the way of how to use it. Again, very user friendly. You've got high, mids, and lows as EQ. So if you want more high end, you just boost more high, want more mids, and so forth. So that's really cool. And then again, play around with the input drive. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more grit to the vocal, you can just drive that input drive. They've even added a gate, so you've got a soft and a hard gate. So if you're using this on drums, or you're using this on a, like perfect example, snare, and you don't want to get too much of the overheads in the snare, you can just use the gate. So it's really, really versatile, this plugin. You can use it on absolutely anything, and that's really, really cool. And then we go down to the compressor settings, and you've got Fairchild 2A76, and again, they're all different emulations of the real analog gear. So the Fairchild is, from the real unit. You've got the LA2A, which is what this one is from, and then you've got the 1176, which is obviously a very, very popular compressor. But they all do different things. An LA2A is more kind of for smoothing out things. 1176 is more for kind of really punchy in your face. So if you're doing more of like a rock song, you may want to use an 1176 over maybe the Fairchild. But again, you just got to blend to taste, do what you like. And then you've got the standard output. So whatever gain reduction you're doing, you can match the gain as well. So they've really, really thought about it. And what's also really cool is they've got oversampling as well. So for extra better quality. And so far it seems completely CPU friendly, which is really, really good. It's nice to have a plugin that doesn't crash your computer every time you load it up. So yeah. And also they've got the blend mode as well, which is really cool. So you can use this plugin in parallel. And I love it when plugins add kind of a blend mode, like a feature where you can only have a little bit of the plugin, because it's a taste thing, and sometimes you don't want to have that 100% taste on the track itself. You just want to have a little bit of it. So it's really cool to blend it in. So let's just solo the vocal now and let's play around with the CAMEL Strip plugin. As I say, I do have the de-esser before it just attains some S's before the actual channel strip itself. I personally would always have a de-esser kind of first in my chain just to control the things that I don't want. And then I'm going to use this plugin now to play around and really kind of harmonically shape the vocal into this mix. But let's just play around with it in solo and you can hear what this plugin is doing.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time.
That sounds incredible. When I just bypassed it then it kind of sounded a bit dull, a bit muffled, and then you put this plugin on and it suddenly just sounds like really nice and lush, and I love that. Now, as you saw there, I was just doing some basic kind of EQing. I boosted the high end quite a bit, and what was really nice about the high end is it didn't sound too harsh to the ear, and that's probably because I've got it on the Pultec setting. Now, Pultecs are known to have a really nice, smooth kind of high end, so that may have been why. So that is a really, really good emulation that Safari pedals have done of that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it again. I'm going to leave the same EQ settings on, and we're going to go through the different kind of EQ modules that they have. As I say, the Pultec, the 73 and the 4K, and we're going to play around and you're going to hear what that's doing to the vocal.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time.
And as you can hear there, for me, I think my favourite one is the Pultec. The 73 added a little bit kind of more of a vintage colour sound, and the 4K was a little bit more kind of brittle and a bit sharper on the high end. So for me, with this voice, I feel like the Pultec works best. However, that will change from song to song. The key of the song, whether it's a female, male singer, all of those sort of things will make, you know, a difference between which setting you go for and also what you like as well. Now let's take a look at the input drive and see if we can add some saturation to the vocal, maybe kind of colour it up a little bit and see if it makes it better or makes it worse. We'll see.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time.
That's a really good drive. However, with this song, because it's, you know, an intimate kind of ballad style, I don't really want any drive on it. It was tracked on a Neve 1073, which already has kind of some analog saturation anyway, and I'm using a Pultec for saturation for the EQ, so I feel like there's enough harmonic saturation in the vocal already, so I don't feel like I need to drive it. But if I was doing a rock song or, you know, more kind of heavier stuff, I probably would be using the input drive. Maybe that'll be something that we can use on the backing vocals when we get to it. Now let's take a look at the compressor options that they've got going on. So at the moment there is no compression on this vocal. I'm going to put it in gain reduction just so I can see kind of how much of gain reduction I'm doing with the compressor, and we're going to play around with adding some compression, and then I'm going to switch between them, and then we're going to decide what we like.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time.
I'm going to go with the LA2A just because I like the smoothness of it. You know, it's not a very aggressive compressor. It's more of just kind of smoothing out things. And I feel like with this vocal, the LA2A works best for me. So let's just kind of blend this into how I like it. And I love the fact that you can blend the compression in, giving me kind of parallel compression option as well, which is really, really cool. So let's just kind of start from 0%, and let's blend it in and see what we like.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time.
Yep, I'm going to go with that. I've got that at 64%. You know, as I say, sometimes you don't want things on 100%. You just want things, you know, in parallel just a little bit. So it's really, really good that they've added that feature into this plugin. It just makes it easy. And it means that I don't have to use 5 different plugins to achieve one thing. I can just use one plugin. 1, it saves CPU. 2, it looks great. And 3, it's all in one place. So if you want to keep organized, it's really, really cool for that. So that's the kind of compressor settings that I'm going to go for on that. Now, they've even added in effects. So they've got a play and a spring option here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off my original reverbs that I had, and we're going to play around with their reverbs. So I had 2 reverbs, I had a short and a long, and in this time we've got a play and we've got a spring option as well. So let's just play around and see what the reverb sounds like.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time.
Those reverbs are really, really good, especially the spring as well. That's a really good spring sounding reverb, and the play's also great. So yeah, you know, again, play around, see what you like. With this kind of style of song, I feel like the plate would work best. But you know, if I'm working on electric guitars or more of an old school sound, I may go for a spring reverb. But again, you have that option, which is really cool. Now, some mixers like to use a gate to sort the breaths out. I personally kind of manually do the breath, so I may not use the gate too much on a vocal with this plugin. But you know, let's just give it a go and see what the gate sounds like.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time.
That's really, really cool as well, and it's a great feature to have. You know, the gate is working, it's kind of reducing the breath slightly, so you know, it's an option to use. But I think in this case, because I've already manually taken the breaths out, I don't want to have a gate on the vocal, but again, it's a great option to have. And then what's also really cool is they've given us an output feature, so we can also kind of gain match. So if I've done like 2 dB of gain reduction on the compression, it means I can then boost up 2 dB to match it, so you don't get fooled by, you know, a louder plugin. Let's just make sure that we're gain matched fairly, so we're not being thrown by something being louder sounding better.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find.
Yep, that sounds fair to me. So let's just take a listen with the plugin off and on in solo so we can hear what the plugin is doing.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time.
Now let's have a listen to the lead vocal with the music.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. time after time.
Such a brilliant plugin. Honestly, I absolutely love it. It's a game changer in the mixing world. So, you know, definitely check this plugin out, because it's just so easy to have everything in one plugin, and it sounds great. And that's the most important thing. If something sounds good, then why not use it? Let's take a listen just to the background vocals only and mix them. We'll do it in solo just so we can hear the plugin for the demonstrational purposes, and then we'll blend it in with the track, and then we'll hear everything as one.
Time after time, 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 time after time.
That sounds incredible. And because we're on a stereo track, because we've got all the mono tracks going to one auxiliary track where we're doing the processing, we've got the width here as well. So it's a bit like using a spreader on the backing vocals, and it just kind of makes it a bit wider, so we can increase that as well and see what we get.
Time after time, time after time.
Sounds fantastic. Absolutely love this. So as you saw there, you know, I did some general EQ. I wanted a little bit more mid-range, just so it kind of sits kind of more tucked into the mix a little bit more, because they're background vocals. I decided to go for a spring reverb instead of a plate. Just why not change it up, so it's got a little bit of a difference to it. Added some input drive, because I didn't need them as clean. I wanted them a bit dirty and a bit more kind of muddy, so they can kind of gel better with the lead. So the lead's a bit brighter and the backgrounds are a little bit darker. And then I just thought, I'm going to do a little bit more kind of more aggressive compression on them, and that's just using the 1176 because it's kind of really aggressive in general. So if we now listen to the background vocals with the lead vocal in solo, let's hear what that sounds like together.
Time after time, if you fall, I will guide you, I'll be waiting. Time after time.
Now let's take the CAMEL Strip plugins off the backgrounds and the leads and play it without the channel strip.
Time after time, if you fall, I will guide you, I'll be waiting. Time after time.
Honestly, it's a game changer. Listen to this now with the CAMEL Strip plugin on.
Time after time, if you fall, I will guide you, I'll be waiting. Time after time.
Incredible. So let's load them both up. So we've got the background CAMEL Strip there, and then we've got the lead vocal CAMEL Strip here, and then we're going to take it all off solo, and then let's hear what it sounds like in the actual mix itself.
Time after time, if you fall, I will guide you, I'll be waiting. Time after time, if you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time.
Now let's listen to my previous mix when I didn't have the CAMEL Strip plugin and I had to use a few more plugins to achieve the same thing that this one plugin can do.
Time after time, if you fall, I will guide you, I'll be waiting. Time after time, if you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time, if you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time.
Safari Pedals, why didn't you release this plugin earlier when I did this mix? Honestly, it is such a great plugin. It's literally night and day, and I will be using this plugin on a lot of future mixes that I work on. So yeah, thank you guys for creating it. And also guys, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll leave a link to this plugin in the description below as well for you guys to try out and test out. I'm sure you guys are going to love it, and let me know what you think of it as well. And I'll see you all again next week for another video.